Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 1,000 Movies Before You Die. Today we're going to do a review. This is a review kind of designed to help you decide if you want to see this film and maybe why you might want to see this film. I highly recommend this film. It's 1952's The Bad and the Beautiful, starring Kirk Douglas, Lana Turner, Dick Powell, Gloria Graham, Walter Pidgeon, Barry Sullivan, and Paul Stewart. That list alone should make you want to see this film, right? Great actors, great actresses in their prime. Paul Stewart gets an honorable mention. He's one of my favorite sort of second card players in a lot of movies. This film, like highly awarded, 6 nominations, Oscar nominations, 5 wins, including cinematography, screenplay, best art direction, best costume design, and best supporting actress for Gloria Graham, who is really cool in this. Really cool is the wrong word. Really saccharine in this, over the top, sweet in this, as the Southern Belle, Rosemary Bartlow, the wife of James Lee Bartlow. But we'll get into that. This is sort of a behind the scenes film of Hollywood producers, actresses, writers. The movie starts in the offices of Harry Pebbles, who is the owner of a studio. And we've just seen, right at the beginning, we've seen 3 celebrities hanging up on somebody, right? Basically telling this person off, basically saying, no, I'm not going to help you, click, in various ways. And now we see these people in an office of a producer or owner of a studio. This is Harry Pebbles, played by Walter Pidgeon. And here we have these, what we find out later are pretty big celebrities, right? Played by, I got to look him up all the time, sorry, Barry Sullivan. So he plays Fred Emile, who is a big time director at this point of the film. We have Lana Turner, who plays Georgia Lorison, and Dick Powell, who plays James Lee Bartlow. Lana Turner's character is a big time actress at this point, big celebrity, and Dick Powell, who plays a writer of screenplays, an author, big time author, very famous. And we find these 4 people sitting in the office of Harry Pebbles, and Harry Pebbles is trying to convince them to do one more favor, one more film to help out Jonathan Shields. And Jonathan Shields is the main character of this. He's played by Kirk Douglas. And at this point, I guess he's a kind of a washed up, big time producer, looking to make one more film. And this movie basically traces his rise to success and sort of beyond. But it does it in this great way where we get a flashback for all 3 of these people, the actress, the writer, and the director, all of whom have reasons to hate Jonathan Shields. But Walter Pidgeon's character reminds them, in fact, they all have reasons to thank him as well. So the movie starts with, again, is it Barry Sullivan? I'm not going to look, let me check. Oh, I got it. I remembered it. Barry Sullivan's character, he plays Fred. And through his flashback, we see Kirk Douglas's character, Jonathan Shields, rise to the top, right? So he's sort of a brash, outspoken, loud spoken, low wouldn't even count, like wannabe producer. And he meets up with Fred, who is sort of a washed up, not even washed up. He can't break into the big time director. He can't get a job basically because he can't sell himself, right? And that is Barry Sullivan's character, Fred Emile. And they meet at the funeral of Kirk Douglas's father, right? Who we never meet, but we find out, later he was a director. Anyway, that's not important. So they meet at his funeral, and he's sort of insulting the father. Doesn't realize that Kirk Douglas is the son. And afterwards, they sort of meet again, I think, and then they form a friendship, and together they form a studio Shields, I think Shields Productions or something like that. And we see sort of their rise as producers through, Harry Pebbles's company and then sort of their own. Right. So this is sort of how, you might rise through Warner Brothers and then go off and open, I don't know, 20th Century Fox, or I don't know. There's studios that sort of grew out of other studios as the producers from those studios left to form other studios. And so that's what we're seeing here. So this is the rise within a studio, and this is what's his name again? Oh, geez, Shields, Jonathan Shields. There's just so many great characters and actors in this. Jonathan Shields, who is modeled after David O. Selznick and Orson Welles and Val Lewton, three big time people in Hollywood. And so he's very ambitious, he's very manipulative, and he basically through his success he drags Fred along as well. And they're sort of making these B movies. There's a reference to Cat People, the movie, these cat suits that don't really fit, but they make the best of it. And then they get a chance to make this great film that Fred has been working on, and I think he wrote it, but he could never sell it. So Kirk Douglas, Jonathan, he sells it because he's great at that. And there's this meeting where he's in, and he comes out. He's like, "It's great, we got a huge budget. It's all good to go. We got this guy to direct it." And this is, of course, we see the face, the close up. He gets, I don't know if it's close up. Fred is just absolutely betrayed because he was going to direct it. This was his baby, he wrote it, and the whole point was for him to direct it. And now, Jonathan has gone ahead and given it to somebody else. This cracks their friendship, and this is why he refuses to take the phone call, and what puts him in the office of sorry, puts him in the office of Harry Pebbles. And he says basically, he's angry. He's not going to do it. This guy completely betrayed me. Then we see, at one point they veer off. Him and Fred and Jonathan, they veer off in a car ride. Sort of, this is while they're friends and they're still building their success. They go check out this sort of falling down house of a dead actor, famous actor, and they find his daughter in there. And I think she's just living there. She may be drunk at the time, I can't remember, but later he meets up with her again, and this is Lana Turner's character, Georgia Lorison. And Georgia Lorison is lush, and it's implied that she's a tramp, and she's basically going nowhere, and she's a horrible actress. She can't pass a screenplay. Kirk Douglas's character, Jonathan, he takes an interest in her. He cleans her up. He gets her great roles, and we see her rise through just another part of Jonathan's rise as he sort of goes to the next level of his career. And she has this huge success. And on the night of her great success, I think I'm not sure if she wins an award, but anyway, it's a huge success. The movie, he's not at the party. And it turns out he's holed up with some other woman, and she comes there, and they fall in love. So it's a very important part. They fall in love. Of course, they fell in love. This is the love interest, and he totally betrays her with this other woman. It's a huge shock. It's at the night of her triumph, and so that's why she's completely upset with him and wants nothing to do with him. He betrayed her, so he's a louse. And then the third person, this is kind of a Rashomon, right? Different kind of Rashomon, not the same sort of crime told from different points of view. It's sort of the same person told for maybe the same louse told from three different points of view. The last person being Dick Powell, who is really fun in this role. He plays this sort of Southern writer, James Lee Barlow, James Lee. That's what he's called by his wife. The really cute, the over the top, saccharinely sweet Georgia, played by Gloria Graham in her Oscar winning role in the supporting role, and so he's a writer who comes to Hollywood, and it's noticed very quickly by Kirk Douglas that his wife is sort of very needy. She wants um, him to do all this stuff with her. This is her husband, right, James Lee, and he does. He enjoys her company, but they can tell that he's never going to get anything written, and it's taken him forever to write a novel, and it's going to take him forever to write scripts if she's always around. So they basically get this this cheesy, sort of romance actor to take her out on a date, and at the same time, um, Jonathan Shields and James Lee, they're going to go write a screenplay up in a cottage somewhere. So they're holed up, so it gets written, right? So they're holed up there, and he mentions his wife a few times. He really misses her. But it turns out that they got a lot more done because she's not there. They get back to civilization. Turns out there's a plane crash. She's dead. There's all these innuendos and rumors and scandal because this actor's on the plane as well, and where were they going, and so she basically dies in disgrace. And then it turns out that Kirk Douglas not only knew about it, he sort of set this up. I mean, just in an innocent way. I don't think he really cared where this relationship went with this other actor. He just wanted her out of the way. And so, he of course didn't, he no way wanted her dead. He just didn't even put them on the plane, or maybe he did. He paid for the plane ticket. I can't remember. It's the way he finds out. Anyway, this is why James Lee is angry. This is why he won't do this last movie with Jonathan Shields, and so this happens in this office of Harry Pebbles. Harry Pebbles reminds them all, as far as Fred's concerned, he'd be nobody, and now he's a big time director. Yes, Jonathan betrayed him, but yeah, he would be absolutely nobody. And he's got Jonathan to thank. And we see that he would be nobody, right? And so, it's kind of like, yes, he really did betray him. We feel that. But we also know he would be really a nobody if Jonathan hadn't basically let him ride his coattails. Then we have Lana Turner's character, Georgia. She would be a drunk. She might be dead if it wasn't for Jonathan. Yet he does betray her. They're really in love, and it's a bit shocking when you see this other woman in a really great noir scene. That's this movie. You can tell why I won great best cinematography and all this art direction. It's got this great noir lighting, and it's beautiful film, just beautiful film. Getting ahead of myself. That's one of the reasons you need to see it. Yeah, and so moving on to James Lee, that's sort of the most painful one. I mean, his wife died. She's actually really nice. She doesn't come across as clingy or awful. I mean, it's true. It took him 7 years or something to write this novel, and yes, it is because they spend time together and because she's sort of needy in that way. But she certainly doesn't deserve that. But again, it's not Kirk Douglas's fault that she's dead. And is he sort of a slime ball for setting all this up and getting another man to go out with her? Yes, he is. But again, this guy would have written maybe one or two more things in his life at the pace he was going. Now he's a big time Hollywood writer, as we see him in this office. So yeah, I guess he had to get rid of this wife that would have held him back. So his story, you think, well, he might have been happier with her, right? Yes, he's a big time writer now, but that one's go either way. And Lana Turner's character is probably the most. I mean, she might be dead. She was such an alcoholic. So yeah, I would say she definitely has the most to be thankful for. So I'm not going to spoil it here. What are they going to do? Are they going to say up yours, or are they going to come back and help Jonathan? He wanted to say Jonathan Stiles, Jonathan Shields, to build his career again, one last shot. A great behind the scenes movie. Behind the scenes, I mean, behind the scenes of Hollywood, sort of a look at the Hollywood system, producers, all sort of wrapped in this great melodrama. that feels like a film noir. Like you feel like, I mean, even now as I'm telling you about it, I'm thinking, wait, was somebody murdered? Like somebody, like there's a death, but it's not a murder; it's an accident. So it's really not a film noir here, right? There's no crime really. He's just, you know, he doesn't even break a contract. He just breaks his word and lies, and definitely not a great guy, but yeah, it's a very sort of morally ambiguous story and tale, and it's wonderfly acted, wonderfully written. You know, it won best screenplay, and especially most beautifully presented in this obviously black and white, but this film noir style. And you know, also I wrote here for the arch for the for the arch for the arc of each character. Each character has a um, nice arc and told from different points of view. It's well done. Highly recommended. Check it out. The Band Beautiful, 1952. 1952. This is Toby, half of the Nate and Tobe combo, wishing you a fantastic watch of The Band the Beautiful, 1952. 1,000 movies before you die. Get busy watching or get busy dying. Back to right there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. All right.